TikTok, it's time to rock. Welcome to the channel, folks. We're back after a week off doing family and fun things and freaky far out things, all the F things.
Yep.
Gigging,
Flying.
that's to begin with F.
Gigging.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Brad's in his private aeroplane flying to the next gig.
I wish it was private,
out.
mate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, I know what you'd be doing.
Soon.
Anyway, this is a family show. And I'm going to mention that it's a family show because I uploaded a video of an unboxing of a Van Halen album, and YouTube didn't like it and demonetized the video because it's adult content.
That's weird. Oh yeah, yeah. It's funny that, isn't it? Apropos, not much, but YouTube recently has gone because I just saw something. There's a guy. Don't ask why. There's a guy in Scotland called Graham Parker, not that one.
Yeah.
Who's has the Hoof GP. Basically does cow trimming. Yeah. And he said he posted a video yesterday saying he had tried 8 times to post a video. It's quite a graphic one, obviously. There's obviously some blood and pus coming out of the hoof. And he said YouTube kept banning it. They wouldn't let him upload it.
Yeah.
It's, amazing. So I don't know. It seems to be something weird going on with YouTube. When isn't there? But
well, after I spend some time with you fine fellows and the people in the chat, I'm going to re-edit that video and blur out or put something, Brad, where the album cover is, and upload that video next to the unboxing video that I did. And I'm just going to see how many views and see which video gets promoted by YouTube, given the fact, though, that the X-rated, so we're in the territory of this channel, guys, of X-rated stuff. Wow.
Do you know, it's funny though, it did, well, because I watched the unboxing video, and it did strike me. I thought that cover is from another different time. You thought it's a bit like the Blind Faith cover, isn't it? You think, and it's interesting that YouTube didn't like it. Probably that image, isn't it? It's probably that image.
Yeah. So anyway, I just thought I'd let you guys know, that we're breaking territory and new grounds constantly here on the channel. Got to keep you guys in the loop. Good to be back after a week off, guys, and to be celebrating this great album. A couple of things, though, that we got to do, obviously, at the beginning of the show, folks, when we've got together and decided exactly how we're going to run things here. We're going to do some shout outs. So I'm going to pass on to Brad. He's got a couple of shout outs, and then the Rock Professor is going to do a shout out, and then I think we're going to kick the channel off.
Yeah,
we are.
Great to me. All right, first shout out is to my father, Ken Cook, who's in hospital at the moment. So I want to wish him a speedy recovery, and all our thoughts and prayers are with you, Dad, Ken Cook, my father. So yeah, wish everyone have a pray tonight and put him in your prayers for me. That would be amazing. Thank you.
No problem.
That's my shout out to my dad. Yeah. The other shout out is to Elvis Presley. It's the anniversary of his passing. I think we said it was 47 years ago today, Simon. You're the Rock Professor. You said 47, was it?
48, sir. 48.
48 years ago. So the passing of the King. So that's a huge one, really. So go and blast some Elvis Presley later on tonight when you get a chance, and enjoy a glass of red wine or whatever tickles your fancy, and put on Love Me Tender.
And of course, your son is named after the king of rock and roll.
Well, you know what I mean. It's
it's got to be said. It's got to be said.
It's got to be said. The names are very similar. Hey, my son's middle name is Bradley, so I've named him Elvis Bradley. That's a really cool stage name when you think of Elvis Presley, Elvis Bradley.
Yeah, you got it.
What was I thinking?
You're planning for his future as a very famous person.
I'm happy to be his manager. I'm more than happy to be his manager.
I'll bet you are.
I'll be the colonel.
Well, he's a modern day Colonel Tom Parker. Oh dear.
Although I'll have my son's best interest at heart. That's the difference.
Oh, good.
Yes.
I'm glad you qualified that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
that other one was a rat bag.
Oh yeah, well and truly. Over to you, Simon.
Well, yes, and this week we also mourn the passing of Bobby Whitlock. The co-creator of Derek and the Dominoes with Eric Clapton, really, and his foil on that record, his voice and his piano playing, really, certainly in the live context of Derek and the Dominoes, only four of them is he was Eric's foil, and of course before that George Harrison's foil on All Things Must Pass. So great loss to the community of a great musician, and really interesting man as well with his artist. So that's Bobby Whitlock. Yeah,
100%.
And you did a nice little tribute, Andrew. Well done.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, nice tribute, guys, to Bobby, and I just want to fill guys in. So I'm planning to do a midday show one of these weekends coming up with our American guys, Michael and Brody and John, to come on, guys, to talk about Bobby. So I'll keep you guys in the loop when we do that. We've also got a show planned with Brad and I and John to celebrate the Balance album as well too, Simon. So that'll be again during the day here as well.
If you can get past
but I just wanted to do one thing though, Brad, in relation to you doing a shout out to Elvis Presley passing. I'll never forget going to school. I was in standard 4, and Miss Stark, the teacher, back in the olden days, used to have handwriting skills. Simon, do you remember, Brad? You probably don't remember, Brad.
No, I do.
But the teacher, oh, do you? Okay. And the teacher used to write something on the blackboard, and you would have to write that down in your best handwriting, at the beginning of the day. And the first thing that she wrote on that Tuesday was the king of rock and roll passed away today. So I'll never forget that, when you're a young kid, Simon, and it's just those little occasions.
Yeah, very sad.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Apparently, Mission RD100, who's in the chat, says, same date as Robert Johnson's passing. Elvis Presley and Robert Johnson passing on the same day. I didn't know that. That's interesting. Thanks for that.
Thanks for
good stuff.
To that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, and I want to do a shout out to Ken too, because there was a period there when he was in our chat too there for a while. So Ken, on behalf of my family here and our friends that watch the show here in New Zealand that I know, we want to pass on our best wishes and get better soon.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, hospitals for sick people. Don't stay there long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't stay. No. I'm hopeful and praying that he'll be out. He'll be there for a little while, unfortunately, but hopefully he's on the other side of it. He'll be fighting fit. He'll have the punching gloves on and he'll be back out. We'll call him Rocco Balboa.
Well done, bro. Well done.
Okay, Rocky Cook, Elvis Cook. I mean, honestly.
Yeah, Simon. We're surrounded by all this genius. Oh,
don't even know.
We got to do a shout out to Elvis Cook too, because we put up the video that he did talking about the Doors album. That's a short on the channel, and it's got 1,000 views. Well done, Elvis.
Yeah, well done, my son.
Yeah. How could you?
Now
how could you overtake me so easily? I'm outraged.
Yeah.
Well done, you did. Well done for that too.
He's had a chuckle about the show. He loves it, and he said, "Yeah, they got me. They got me." Yeah.
That's fantastic. The old bloke at the back needs to be put in his place. That's what.
Well, you know what,
fantastic.
Simon?
Really good.
Simon, you and I
really
might
good.
be out of a job if he keeps up that.
Well, yeah, I'm definitely for the job.
Yeah, well, I'm negotiating with him, guys, as we speak.
Well, see, you know, two of us will make one of him. So you know what I mean?
You've got to talk to his manager, apparently.
Yeah.
Colonel Tom Cook is in the.
Oh my Lord! Oh, bit of fun. Anyway, we should kick the show off. We got some people in here. The Rock Professor's going to say hello to the fine folks that have jumped on and joined us. Before we do that, though, Simon, I have to say, listening to you with your new audio setup through here live, you sound really, really good, Simon. Yeah, 100%. Thank you.
Well,
you sound good.
You can't discount the fact that a pair of Sennheiser headphones and a microphone.
No.
You know, 250 quid worth is working well. I'm glad it's working well, and that bloody crackling went away. I saw who did I see? I saw the real rock professor, the professor Adam Reeder. He was going live, and he had a load of crackling on his stuff. He was just using, just talking to his laptop. I think he had a load of crackling and stuff. So I think it's quite common. But I'm glad I've this headset makes you look like a man in a call center. But if you see me talking quiet, I'll go on silent to keep talking. I'm taking it.
No problem. Yeah. But your audio is just remarkable. It's incredible. Thank you.
Yeah,
cool.
That's great.
Good. Fab. We've got Helene O'Hara in the chat. So good morning, Helene. Fantastic. Johnny Heartbreaker's off to work, but Johnny, thanks for dropping by and leaving a comment. Hope you have a good day, and it's not too onersome. And Mission RD100 as well. Thanks for the info, Mission. That's really interesting. So thanks for that. Fantastic.
Yeah. And also, Simon, a big shouts out to the man himself, Mr. Joe Bonamassa, shared my story today. I shared a story for this show, and he reshared it. Yeah, I tagged him in it, and he reshared it. So a big shout out to Mr. Joe Bonamassa. I'm just names dropping now, aren't I?
Well done. Well, you are the man who's got names to drop.
No, well, he's yet to follow me, but
Joe Bonamassa is. Yes, that's next. But
look,
that's nice if you shared it as a thing. That's
So a big shout out to Mr. Bonamassa for sharing my story. Cool. That was lovely, and I did do a cheeky thing and sent him a DM asking him he's welcome on the channel anytime, but he hasn't responded. So I don't think he's read it.
Yeah,
well, we'll see. I doubt he will. But look, one can only live on hope.
Can I ask?
Well, completely. Yeah. And I don't know if he watches a bit. He knows. He'll see what sort of show we are. We're not. We're not kind of messing about. We're not. How much is Joe Bonamassa worth? All of that.
No, we're not interested in that, guys. We're not interested in that. We're interested in the music.
Yeah.
And the guitars.
Now we're interested. Guitars, the amps, and everything else. Oh, now we're in. We're in. No problems at all. Yeah. The other stuff, no.
Yeah. I thought I was a bit cheeky doing that, but I thought, you know what?
Good,
Again, if you can't, you won't know unless you ask. He might turn around and say yes. You never know. So let's just see.
Yeah. And then we'll all be getting up in the middle of the night.
Yes. Well, you will be.
You will be. Believe you me, I will be getting up in the middle of the night if Mr. Bonamassa is coming on, sir.
I'm sure you will.
I'll be up. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. Anyway, so we've got
well done for sending him a cheeky DM. I think that's quite right.
Yeah. Hey, I slid into Joe's DMs. It sounds a bit sus, doesn't it?
for sending him the right message for all the right reasons.
Yeah,
that's where I'm going with. I know what you mean. There is something a bit dubious about sliding into somebody. The phrase is just terrible, isn't it?
it's horrible. I hate it. Yeah.
Anyway, I think sent him a DM is just fine, frankly, and avoids all of that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
dear, oh dear.
Simon, you picked a wonderful album to go through. So, without further ado, let's hand it over to you. I think to start the show off.
It's once in a while it all synchronizes, doesn't it? You go, he's got a new album out. We should go modern. We should go really right up to date, current. Let's get really current from our our usual swanning about in the 1970s, 50 years ago. But it was just really opposite that it came about. Just at the right time. We're just getting back into it, and so it's his 17th studio album.
Wow,
prolific is the word I'm using to plus all the other live stuff that he puts out regularly. I mean, he's a bloody machine for for work. It's and going out and doing it, and so 17th album. And
from my understanding, Simon, he's the most successful blues artist of all time.
He is the most successful blues artist of all time. Absolutely, and I rewatched the Guitar Man documentary as well as part of this, which is such an interesting story, and the way that him and his manager Roy Wiseman and Kevin Shirley, the way that they've kind of shaped his career for the last 20 years. Roy Wiseman's
I love that documentary.
It's fantastic. It's really interesting and a real insight into the kind of, if you want to do it your own way, there is a way of doing it.
Yeah,
if that makes sense. You don't have to be just a record company person who at the beck and call. And I think record companies are that's all very difficult right now. Although they're still coining all the money, but I think they're finding it difficult. But I think the way that he's done it with setting up his own production stuff and paying for his own, paying for the recordings themselves, releasing them themselves. I think that's, I take my hat off to I mean, it reminds me a bit of Jimmy Page and Peter Grant, paying for the Led Zeppelin albums themselves, and then leasing them to Atlantic, joke, but I think it's a really interesting business model, for musicians, and kind of how to do it, the booking of the auditoriums yourself, and that amazing kind of Royal Albert Hall in 2009, booking it yourself, booking all the cameras to make the DVD, and
put all your money into it and just hope for the best.
250,000 on black or whatever, white on red, so and but making a success of it. So and I think there is much to admire in all of that. Absolutely, very
you can't disregard the talent though, Simon. You can't put $250 into a turd and expect it to shine. You know what I mean? He's got the talent, so they all believed in him and he believed in himself, and look where it's got him, which is amazing. And that's a wonderful, powerful story to celebrate, but also inspirational to other people, especially young musicians coming through and really pushing and finding it tough. And look at what Joe Bonamassa's managed to achieve. And that's, not everyone can achieve what he's done. He's got the talent to back it, but he pretty much gave his life to the blues.
Also, I think that not only he has the talent, but also and I think that this is probably more opposite. He has the work ethic.
Yeah.
Hard work. In the words of YouTube motoring man Matt Armstrong, hard work beats talent.
I think you just put the nail in the coffin there of my conversation. You just hit the nail on the head.
No.
Yeah.
No, but if you've got talent and you've got the heart, I mean, a lot of people who are very talented don't make it because they don't have they don't have the work ethic to go with it, and he's forever. If he's not touring, he's making an album. If he's not making shows, he's out touring. He's doing a cruise. He's about to do a sort of Alaska cruise, isn't they? The what's it called? Keeping the Blues Alive cruise. I think that all those things that he does, he just if he's not he wrote this album in Santorini on a in between in between times. We've got a few. We're off season in Santorini in Greece. We'll go and get together with Kevin Shirley and make it sort out an album kind of thing. And I think that I don't know how far ahead they program these things, but I bet you he knows when his next 2 or 3 albums are going to be made. Diary-wise, he's got next year. I bet next year's sorted out pretty much where he's touring, when he's going to be recording, what he's going to be doing. And it's a case of, as I say, that thing about hard work. It's the story about Jimi Hendrix was never all the talent in the world. He still was never without a guitar. Even when he went to the toilet and stuff, he took a guitar with him. And that's the hard work bit of the in the talented hard work equation. And I think that Mr. Bonamassa is the epitome of you have to work at your career. There's no you can't take a couple of years off and he's like it's right, sit down, write an album, get it sorted out, get that out, get back on tour, and you're folding it in all the time into what your next moves are. So I think it's if you're a musician of any quote, it's it's a real pointer in in a way that a musician can make a really good living in today's wild and crazy market of Spotify, YouTube, and not hardly any really any money from from plays and streaming and things and yet clearly got very healthy kind of physical products which makes these things possible, along with clearly with the touring a few nights at Red Rocks it's enable you to get some nice guitars and stuff, so hats off to him. So as I said, it's his 17th album, recorded in various places, including there's a nice little film of him sitting around in Santorini in a villa in Santorini. It's clearly nobody there because it's winter and no tourists and stuff. So sitting around just writing out stuff with his guitar and things, and working. Also in Ocean Way in Nashville and Sunset Sound in Hollywood, which team credits for the album's worldwide textures. So clearly quite a lot. We can go into the influences and what's gone on this album, but it's as him and Kevin Shirley clearly got a really good way of working. Kevin Shirley has some songwriting credits, and he has a long-time co-writer called Tom Hambridge, who's and a couple of other people. And clearly, and with the band, Reese Winans and Josh Smith as well playing on it too. So getting the band in to do it, but getting on with it. Yeah,
right.
So. Yeah. As it's so new, there aren't loads of tales and stuff about it yet. But clearly a sort of focused record on, and I think it showcases all his strengths, across a wide variety of things and of song styles and things. And I think that 100%. It's been a great couple of weeks listening to it and absorbing myself in it. Well, it just reminds you, doesn't it, that making an album, there's there's an art to making an album. There's an art to make, I mean, clearly you can see that him and Kevin Shelley know how to make an album, don't they? You know, they know how to start it. They know what the middle looks like. They know, you know, what things and how it broadens out from particular things and stuff. So
they've got a system. They know it works.
Yeah.
You know.
So
yeah.
So, boys, shall we start with the rankings, or do you want to say something else before we roll into it?
No, I think we should dive into it. You covered that really well. I mean, look, you know, this album's definitely a little bit more songwriter Joe Bonamassa, in my opinion. I like that. He's showcasing his blues and everything, but there's a lot more songwriter, you know, stylistically I'm talking about. And that sort of filters through, even though the blues is the heavy part of the album. He's showcasing his songwriter ability in this a lot more, I think. So, yeah, that's all I really wanted to sort of elaborate on. But, yeah, I think it'd be good to... you're going first, obviously, Simon, and it's me second, and the boss third. Yeah.
Always, the boss is always at the back, you know, cracking the whip.
Yeah, well, you know, he's quiet at the moment. He's ticking away. Something's going on.
He's doing his social media stuff.
Yeah, keep it clean. Keep it clean.
He's made 2 video shorts while we've been talking, and he's
yeah, he's all over it.
Yeah, I know. Yes, Mr. Watson, is there anything you'd like to add before we go in?
No, I think you guys have done well. It's just a new album here, so I think we'll crack on. Great intro, Simon.
Crack on, right?
Yeah.
Cool. So the first track is the title track, "Breakthrough." It opens with some a cappella multi-part singing, and then the guitar comes in and plays the same melody as the singing. And that opening statement riff, you know, really puts it down, doesn't it? That's what you want. You want an opening statement song, and you know, it's a punchy riff, and it's got. I like the, you know, it's quite sparse backing. You know, it's organ, drums, bass, pretty clean guitar. It's not. Morning, Tony. How you doing?
Morning, Tony.
I think that's pretty cool. I think that, you know, that difference between the big riff and then just keeping it fairly sparse in the verses, and then you've got that kind of, and then the little guitar interlude at the end of every verse you get to transition you into the chorus. Again, the organ is probably the second most prominent instrument as the foil for the guitar, and great solo starts with a wah wah and kind of you know, some blistering runs and some nice bluesy bends and things, and that mid late with the female co-singer as well. That's really cool. Just a bit of extra color and change as you get towards the end, and guitar solos at the end. And who doesn't like a guitar solo at the end? But you know, 4 minutes 10, a really statement opening. I think, you know, big riff saying, you know, this is where I am, and you know, some and lyrically about, you know, sort of personal growth type of sort of thing, which is interesting too. So 9 out of 10 from me. Never a skip. Brad.
Yeah. Breakthrough. I think this album is a real breakthrough, and this first opening track is a bold statement. I mean, it kicks off, you know, with that real funky infused opening riff. It's got a rich keyboard stuff that you mentioned there, Simon. It's a very driving riff. I think Joe's voice is very gritty and bluesy, but you can certainly hear a very established vocal and confident tone in his voice on this record, and it carries through on every single song. You know, Joe is more than just the guitar blues god, you know, of the modern era. He's actually a fantastic vocalist as well, and that shines through quite heavily on this record. I think he's using a Strat. It's a very Strat-like tone. It's a very, very cool sound. I love the tone on the guitars in general on the whole album, but this song is great. The band is super tight. I mean, they're kicking ass. I mean, such a tight band, and I'm envisioning they would have recorded a lot of the beds fairly much, you know, with the click track or live, like in the studio. I know Joe probably prefers to record like that. You know, it's an uplifting sort of empowering song. It's got that wah guitar solo that you mentioned, Simon. It's got that soul rock foundational thing going on that he does so well when he solos. He's a real seasoned professional, and it shines through in everything he does, including his phrasing on guitar. You know, he's got his own personality as a guitarist. He's soloing. You know, it's Joe Bonamassa. You can really hear it. I know you can hear the colours and flavours of his heroes, but it's very Joe Bonamassa in my opinion. He's made it his own, and I just think it's one of those songs that is perfectly set up on the album. It's theme based. It's probably got a lot to do with his personal evolution, and he's declaring it on this song. So in so many ways, I see it a 10 out of 10 and never a skip, guys. Andrew.
Wow. Thanks, guys. Good to see Tony in the chat, and
Hey,
good to see Helene is in here
Hey,
ranking the tracks too. She's saying that she loves the tone on this track, 9 out of 10. So she's up there with the top shelf. So far, so good. Look, I have to agree with you, Brad. You know, there is a lot of shout outs to Joe's heroes on this album. And as we get through and go through and talk about some of the other tracks, it becomes clearly obvious to my ear, which is never a bad thing, because when you're playing this kind of music, Simon, you're always going to have those connections because there is a vein that you're tapping into, and this is the gold that's in that vein. And he's just, as you said, Brad, he's just carving his own way out of that a little bit, you know. And that's what I love about Joe Bonamassa, his reinterpretation of not only the giants that have come before him, but also his own work, because, you know, sometimes I think people forget that Joe Bonamassa is a giant as well. You know, he's hugely influential, and I got to pinch myself and remind myself of that when I was listening to this album, guys, that, you know, this guy's 17 albums into a career. He's a giant. He's up there. He's not just some guy in the States, Brad, you know, just following the tradition. He's setting it. He's setting those benchmarks. And, you know, that's what I love about him, and I love about this track, you know. He's always interpreting who he is as an artist. Break on through, or break through, or breaking through. You got to love that kind of message. I get that with this track. The video is pretty cool. If you guys checked out the video with a dude riding a Triumph, it's pretty cool. Can't go wrong with that.
Can't go wrong with a Triumph.
No, you can't, can you? And as you said, Brad, you know, the wah-wah solo thing, I'm beginning to associate the wah with Joe Bonamassa every time I listen to an album, Simon. You know, it's becoming, you know, one of those identifiable things in my mind, like Stevie Ray Vaughan, Jimi Hendrix, you know, the wah, Brad, you know, and I dig that. I dig that because, again, he's, you know, jumping onto this bandwagon and saying, come with us. Come on, let's go.
100%. 100%.
Look, I love it. Yeah. Look, I love the track too. I've had 2 weeks to listen to it. You know, I've given it a 10 out of 10, Brad. I can't give it anything less than that. Great track, great video. The man's a dude, Simon.
Yes, indeed. So, track 2, Trigger Finger. Again, another sort of raucous, high-energy rocker with that tight riff, pretty radio-friendly length kind of thing. You know, you can tell that a lot of these songs are in the sort of that sort of, you know, sharper, more commercial edge to them. You know, so hopefully some radio play comes out of this record. But again, you know, you've got interesting that I think that the bass and the drums are just like they're like a foundation layer in this, aren't they? It's not flash. I didn't make a lot of notes about bass and drums. They were just there driving the right tracks, doing all the right things, but just kind of in the background, you know. And
that's true.
You know, and the other bits were the main bits. I think, you know, the guitar parts clearly, but the singing as well. Lots of singing, and this you know, this has multi harmonies by the backing singers in the chorus. It has, you know, some guitar solos over just the organ, bass, and drums. Quite a sparse sound in those things. But again, always going back to that opening riff to you know, reiterate it. And you know, and it's a great riff, and they do it at the end as well to sort of punctuate it, and to the circle, you know, go a complete circle and come back to where you started, kind of thing. But you know, and also let's not forget the melody as well. You know, it's got great melody. The chorus, you know, I really like the melody, really punchy chorus, really good melody, and you know, he's turned himself into a great singer, hasn't he? You know, from the kid in his early album Bloodline, you know, where he didn't sing at all, you know, convincing himself that maybe singing was a good idea, and then actually to where he is now, where, you know, he's a really good singer, and and
100%.
does justice to the tracks, and you know, in a way, you know, and some so, you know, I give this 10 out of 10. Never a skip. I think it's, you know, that tightly focused with the melodic choruses, you know, absolutely sort of radio friendly Joe. Brad.
I'm glad you mentioned the melody, Simon, because this is where the songwriter part comes into Joe. He's really evolved, not just as a bluesman, but as a songwriter as well. And not to say his previous records haven't had melody in the vocal content, but there's a very strong focus on this record, I've noticed, on vocal melody, and that's good songwriting. That's where you can be a fantastic guitar player and write good chords, but the vocal melody can own a song, and I think a lot of his vocals own the songs on the record, which is, I'm glad you brought that up, Simon, because I've got that written here on my notes. You must have read them. I wrote that great melody, and Joe's really finding his songwriter within. I've written here, it's got a real high octane sort of blues rock vibe to it. I think it's a fairly aggressive riff. It's very punchy. The backbeat is just, you know, right in the pocket. You mentioned that, Simon, about the bass and the drums. They're playing perfectly for the song. There's nothing you can say they could be doing any more or any less. It's absolutely perfect. The song, when it kicks into the solo, I'm sensing a very Stevie Ray Vaughan Wall of Denial vibe happening there. I'm hearing the solo for Wall of Denial, you know, how it changes and the key and everything, and it comes back to the song. If you're not familiar with that song, please, after the show, go listen to Stevie Ray Vaughan's Wall of Denial, which was written by Double Trouble, which you've got a Double Trouble member playing on this record. So maybe it all sort of comes full circle. Maybe it's just my crazy way of thinking because, you know, the keyboard player from Double Trouble is on this album. I don't know. But I find that is very cool. Fender tones again. I'm thinking Fender. I'm hearing Strat on this song again. I love the wah pedal. It's the overdubs or whatever's recorded with the wah pedal. That was fantastic. And I've also written here, Joe's voice has really hit his own on this album and this song in particular. 10 out of 10, guys. Never a skip. Andrew.
Wow. And it's one of the burdens of going third because you guys have just nailed everything that I've made notes of. So I'm just going to reiterate a couple of cool points here that I thought I was uniquely in tuned in the universe to discover, but clearly not. reminds me a lot of Reese Wallen, the keyboard of Crossfire on the intro, the way that the keyboards are there, dun, 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 and I'm going, what? This is incredible. Not a bad thing. Not a bad thing. So the fact, Brad, that you're picking up on that gives credence to my thought. And it's got to be a Strat. This guitar, that guitar, Simon, it's got to be a Strat, eh?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm leaving that to you experts. I did concentrate on what type of guitars they were at all. So
that's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I can't help it when I hear it.
I've always got to try and work out when Joe Bo's playing. What's he playing? Because it could be one of. You take your pick.
God knows what he's playing these days.
Yeah. But yeah, it's got to be a Strat. I'm not going to repeat what you guys have said. There is some, tapestry, some going backwards, to some giants there. And as I said in my intro with the first song, I don't see that as a bad thing. I love it. I think, this can qualify for, there's a couple of radio-friendly songs as we get further into the album. But I think this is an album that could do well on, the blues rocks charts, that people might buy into, it could be a success for him. I've given this 9.5 out of 10. Killer track, Rock Professor.
Yeah. So track 3 is I'll Take the Blame. So after the first two opening, real socket to your riffs and high energy stuff, this is the first what I would call like palette cleanser. So the drums bring in a shuffle. So we're in blues territory here, and and then you've got a bit of solo guitar that brings in the vocals. So introduce yourself in. You've got a rhythm guitar as well as a lead guitar on it, and some cool barrel house piano as well. That sort of, which
that's
is
pretty good, eh?
Which is never a bad thing. and the bass and the drums as well. As I say, it's got a nice bluesy solo, isn't it? Nice passionate bluesy solo at 1:15, and then you've got some second guitar. I presume that's Josh Smith doing some. I don't know whether it is. It could be Joe doing some call and response stuff for a couple of lines. That's pretty cool. Before you get back into more solo, and then you've got a verse. And then you've got the backing singers come in for a bit of coloration at the end, and the guitar solo end. So, a tight, punchy, with a good melody, and again. I gave this a 9 out of 10 and never a skip. But but more of a palate cleanser than we get to the other stuff. Brad.
Yeah, I agree. It's a perfect sort of third song in on the album, part of the journey. It's got a bit of a Texas shuffle for me, a bit of a Texas blues vibe going on there. It's a playful song. It definitely gets the foot tapping. You know what I mean? Joe with his vocals, again, sings marvelously well on this album, and this song's no exception. Lyrically, it's Joe owning his mistakes. I'm wondering whether he wrote the lyrics completely himself or whether they were, collaborated with. I'm not sure how he writes his vocals, but it's a lyrically it's a fun song. I think he's owning his mistakes. I like that, and there's some fun things in there. Great vocals, really expressive guitar playing, including the soloing. Nice reverb tone on the solo too. Like the reverb kicks in during the solo. I don't know if you boys picked that out, but I was listening with my headphones, in particular when I was flying up here to Sydney, and I could really hear the reverb like kick in during that solo. I thought, how beautiful is that? Most people would think to put reverb on all the guitar, including the solo and the rhythm guitars, but he keeps it fairly clean and whatnot. But then the solo, the reverb kicks in. It's like he's kicked on a pedal and boom, and the world's opened up into a big hollow, hallway. It's amazing. The band's tight. What more can I say? The piano as well. 9 out of 10. Never a skip. Andrew.
Yeah, I agree with you, bro, about the reverb too. You know, he doesn't overdo it, just uses bits and pieces, you know, puzzles to the jigsaw puzzle, Simon, you know, and he's a master at it. You know, 17 albums in, you would expect him to have a bit of an idea on how to do that. Whereas, you know, maybe if it was his third album, Simon, or his second album, Brad, the everything will be on. Who knows, you know, and you wouldn't blame him for that, would you? You know, you wouldn't blame him.
No.
But the fact, you know, that he's doing that just shows a guy that's developed his craft really, really well. I love the intro, incredible guitar tone. I get where you guys are saying where it's a palate cleanser. I get where you're going there, but, you know, it's a great song. You know, and it's I love it. And you know again, guys know the reason why. You know, there's a history there, you know, that Joe is reinterpreting, and I just love it. And I love him to death for that. You know, he's up there with Philip Sace, you know, reinterpreting this stuff, you know, and this is one of the reasons why Simon and Brad, why we love them to death, because they're doing it, aren't they? Now, today, you know.
Yes.
You know, celebrating these albums that the Rock Professor mentioned at the start of the show. You know, stuck in time on this channel, stuff from the 60s and the 70s. You know, and yippee, we're doing a 2025 album. Yeah. Look, I love that. I think it's an incredible performance. And, you know, just again shows not only the musical ability of what Joe is, but, you know, the fact that he can grab these elements and put them together, and you just get something that sounds incredible. I've given this 9.5 out of 10. Not quite 10, but 9.5. I hope that doesn't get me timed out, guys.
Do you think, Brad, you're going to be banned for only giving it 9? Timed out and giving it only a churlish 9 from the Rock Professor.
Helene's given it 9, so that's okay then. But she gave the previous song 10, so she definitely knows what she's talking about.
She knows better than me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh dear. So anyway, the fourth track is Drive by the Exit Sign, and here we start to diverge a bit more. We're going to a sort of southern tinge.
Do we what?
Yeah, southern tinge, and introducing the slide. Yeah, the slide intro as well. So introducing another different coloration to the album, and as I say, that more kind of that southern tinged, you know, southern rock thing that certainly goes through this, and sort of swampy feel, isn't it? Swampy, funky feel is what I wrote. Just write down words, really. See if some of them fit. So I something mud as a word.
I'm just a poet, you know. I just throw these words out. I just throw them out. I just chuck them out.
Southern swamp, funky feel. Don't even know what that, you know. Yes, that covers about 19 bases, doesn't it? It's mixed up, but it does, to me, it does have that kind of stuff, you know. And with the piano playing second fiddle to the guitar, great riff, and again the standout stuff, the chorus with the backing singers. You know, the second last line he sings on his own, and then he gets a response back from the singer. So great. You know, again, another great melody, sing along chorus, but also, you know, some thought into the arrangement as well. And I like that sort of a solo, the second last line and stuff. And it's really interesting, you know, from a songwriting point of view. You know, you write a song and then how you arrange it, you know, which bit are you going to do, which bit am I going to do, which bits are you going to sing and stuff. And it's you know, it's a really good example of that from my book. Nice slide solo over sort of fairly stunted instrument backing there, and you know, some more call and response with the backing singers in the later verse, and a nice slide break to end. I gave this 9.5 out of 10. I think it's a really great track, and as I say, different vibe to the first 3 tracks, really expanding out the influences, and you know, and taking us into new territory, and you know, that's never a bad thing, is it? Yeah, so 9.5 out of 10 for me, never a skip. Brad.
Drive by the exit sign. I just love the title. I think it's fantastic.
Yep.
Love the title. It's got a real blues rock, thing going on there. Forgive me if I'm incorrect here, but I've sensed a little bit of country swagger there as well. Plus a little bit of funkiness, a little bit of southern rock.
Damn, I missed out the country word.
Yeah, it definitely had a little country vibe to me, a little country swagger there.
Yeah.
Hooky, upbeat. I put great slide guitar playing. Guys, my first initial listen to this, and I'm reading my first notes because I haven't had time to polish my notes. But my first listen to this, I sensed a real Joe Walsh vibe musically. I don't know if that 70s Joe Walsh vibe, I sensed that initially.
James Gang.
Yeah, well, yeah, even past James Gang, just a little bit of, James Gang into Joe Walsh's solo career. No, I sensed that there, but on listens after that, it didn't shine out as much. But my first initial thought was, wow, he's really listening to Joe Walsh at the moment. He's influenced by Joe Walsh here. Possibly, who knows? I'll put here fantastic backing vocals. Lyrically, I think it's a very fun song. I like the lyrics. I think across the board on this record, the lyrics are really good. In context with the song as well, which is important. And I definitely think it's a great part of, if you were to look at, say, there's 10 songs on the album, track by track 4, it's still a strong song. They're not progressively getting weaker. There's still strong songs.
No. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying by songwriting. The songwriting, there's no fillers on this record. They're all songs stand up in their own right. And I gave this a 9 out of 10 and never a skip. Andrew.
Yeah, let's make that quite clear. Before we do that, though, I want to do a special shout out to Tony. Thank you, as ever, Tony, for joining us.
Yes.
And enjoy your trip. Thank you, brother.
Yeah.
Getting to be a regular here on the channel. Yeah. Let's make that quite clear. There's no fillers on here at all, Brad. Absolutely. I'm glad that we're on the same page here. And more on your call about it being a songwriter's album later on. I'll get there and back up what you're saying on that too, because I came to that conclusion, but I'll save that for the track that I mentioned it. Look, guys, we're getting all the skills from Joe Bonamassa, aren't we? On this album, 4th track in, Brad. We're getting him as a slide player, and I agree with you that there's that Joe Walsh element to his slide. It's certainly not Dwayne Allman. He's not playing delicate, clean stuff with his slide. He's more of a rock and roll slider.
Yes.
Simon, he's a little bit like Jeremy Spencer and Joe Walsh.
Elmore James.
Brad.
I was going to say Elmore James type.
Yeah. And he comes from that school of slide, which is great, fantastic.
Yeah,
don't get me wrong.
I love it.
100%. It's just a different skill set when you're doing what Derek Trucks or Dwayne Allman does. You have to kind of do that stuff all the time, or that other album, Simon, that we ranked recently. Who was the guy? Bop, the Bop Bebop album.
Bebop. You mean Ry Cooder?
Yeah.
Peter Cooder.
That's right. Yeah, he's not in that vein. And you know what? I'm not surprised when I hear this rock and roll version of Slide, because that fits into this album, Brad. This is what this album's about. If he was trying to mimic Dwayne Allman, I think we'd probably go, oh, this sucks. Maybe because that wouldn't fit in this album.
I agree.
So I like the fact that he's he's going down that rock blues thing. So top marks, bro, for going to the Beast, because I made that connection too. Love the song title. Simon, love the keyboards on this track, and also the backup singers. Boy, isn't it really nice? hearing a guy sing, and then he's got you know that the woman backup singers. I just love
Jay
that.
McRae is one of them. She's a fantastic singer.
Yeah.
I don't know who the others are. That's terrible, but
I love it. And again, Brad, when you're hearing that on your headphones, it's like, yeah, this is good.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Hey, Gretch.
Gretch.
I've got to give this 10 out. Got to give this 10 out of 10. Slide, baby, slide on it.
Slide.
Come on.
Slide.
I think
baby,
Simon and I are
slide.
going to get timed out the way we're going.
Yeah. hope I'm going to attempt to redeem myself on the next track. Redemption. So the blues is all about redemption.
Exactly. And breakthroughs.
Oh,
yeah,
breakthroughs. Hey, besides chucking words out there, you know, on this channel, we just chuck numbers out there too. You know, we just throw
We don't know what we're talking about. We just throw numbers out to the universe. Yeah.
I do. I'm the rock professor. I know what I'm talking about.
That's right. We know that.
You might not, but I definitely do.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
It's in all the books. Dear me.
Yeah.
Anyway, on to track 5, which is Broken Record. The album's longest song by a short head. A real slow builder, kind of emotive ballad in the tradition of slow gin. I absolutely kind of figure that, and I think it starts off with kind of melodic guitar line with just bass and some light drums, nothing with a bit of organ as well. And you've got the verse over the light backing. You have 2 lines, then a guitar plays. Very, and I am reminded very much of the way that Slow Gin is, with the way he's put it, that, which is one of his best, it's one of his great songs. I know he's not written by him, but I think, I go back and listen to watch him play it at Red Rocks. That fantastic version of Red Rocks is just the most amazing thing. And this, clearly you've got the verse, then you've got the big guitar chords with the organ in the chorus, that really contrasts with the way the verse is set up. Again, great chorus and backing singers as well. We're going to mention them a lot. I think they do a fantastic job on this. And then you've got that kind of guitar intro that leads into kind of different backing. They do different chords, which it goes under the solo as well, which is a great Bonamassa, bluesy, passionate, melodic, soaring away. It's just brilliant. And then back to the verse. And then that kind of bit at the end where you've got the strings play as well. You get the orchestration comes in for some coloration and, a difference. And then you've got that second solo at the end, 5:30 to a minute and a half of slow burner, but typically builds. If you want to know how to build a solo, just pay attention to how this is constructed. It's brilliant, soaring melodic solo. All the trademark Bonamassa, stuff in there. Some slow stuff, some fast, some fast licks. Played beautifully, and so this is a 10 out of 10 for me. And never skip. Absolutely great track. Brad.
Yeah. The title again. I love the title of the song, "Broken Record." It's fantastic. Straight out of the bat, I want to mention I picked out some real Dire Straits vibes here at moments. Not the whole song in particular, but certain little points in the song. I'm like, oh, that sounds a bit Mark Knopfler-y. I'm getting tingles because Mark Knopfler's songs like Brothers in Arms and all those sort of things, they really are quite emotional songs. They hit an emotional chord within my body for some reason. It's very emotional, blues ballad based. I'm going to say it like this: heavenly guitar and organ, and very introspective lyrics. Great lyrics. Album's got fantastic lyric writing. This song's no exception. It's got a stellar guitar solo, and I'm going to go back to one of his earlier songs, called Happier Times. It's like he's hitting that same sort of vibe in this guitar solo as well. I think it's a brilliant solo and a brilliant outro solo as well. The outro part of the song is, yeah, wow. I mean, it's a very matured Bonamassa. Even though he's still young, he's a very matured bluesman by this point in his career, and I think the song has that matured blues vibe about it. Guys, I gave it 100 out of 10. I love it. And I think it's a wonderful track 5 for the record. It's just one of those songs that this is the sort of, thing that I think Bonamassa really shines in, these real emotive blues ballads. Andrew.
Well, I think we're on the money here, bro, because I'm going to read my comments here. This is it's exactly what this album needed. Joe sings so beautifully on this track. And this is where I think, Brad, he's growing as a songwriter, and it just shows that it's right in the middle of this album, Simon. And stop me too. I've got a couple of picks too, Rock Professor, for us to show. So give me a yell when you want me to do that too, please.
Well, after this track, we can do picks. That'd be cool. Yeah.
Okay. But I agree with you, Brad. I think it's just incredible. The backup singers just add depth to the song. That outro guitar solo is just incredible.
Next level,
yeah, it is. When you think that Joe Bonamassa can't do, anymore, he surprises you, and I hope, I hope that this album becomes really successful for him. I don't know how he measures his success on albums.
It's actually doing really well for him, I think. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So maybe at Christmas time we'll have all the figures in and stuff like that. For him.
And hopefully by then Andrew would have interviewed him already.
Yeah, for sure. But it's just an incredible song. And I've given this a Brad score too. I just think it's just perfectly placed. I don't know who I'm going to assume it's Joe, because Joe has a lot. If you watch the Guitar Man video that the Rock Professor mentioned, Joe Bonamassa has just about total control, doesn't he? On everything. It's all got to be signed off by the boss. So just incredible placement. Brad score, Simon.
Yeah, I think that when it comes to recording stuff, I think that Kevin Shirley is such a huge part of this. A man who's worked for Led Zeppelin and all sorts of people. Knows what he's doing in this sort of genre, and absolutely. And I think that's the brilliance of it is. So I'm going to sneeze.
Bless you.
Came out of nowhere. The brilliance is that that Roy Wiseman, his manager, does the business side, does all of that. He's the talent with the guitar, and Kevin Shirley does the recording. And I think those three things fit together really well. Between the three of them, they don't overlap too much.
They work amazing.
They have complementary talents, and the best team is people who just bring different talents into that team, and I don't think they have the same thing. So I think Kevin Shirley has a lot of say, and they collaborate brilliantly, him and when they're doing recording stuff.
Cool. All right, so we've got some videos, some pics. So this is the album cover, which I absolutely adore. I think it's one of his best album covers, and as I mentioned a couple of weeks ago, Brad, to you, very Dream Theater-ish.
Yes.
That's the front cover. That's the back cover again. So he's busted through. He's rambling on, Simon. He's on a ramble. Yep.
Like Tony.
He's on a ramble.
up the Lake District.
And just here's some pics here, some publicity pics that he's done. Loves wearing his suit. He's always looks good in the suit.
The man in the suit.
Yeah.
It's an interesting that, isn't it? Juxtaposition between, he puts on the man in the suit persona to go out and play. And that's that's part of his persona he has. Interesting.
There he is there. And here's a couple of pics that I grabbed off him in the studio. There he is there playing one of his Les Pauls. So he's a different man in the studio. He's the man of the street in the studio, Rock Professor.
Yeah, got his baseball cap on, jeans, trainers.
And here's a clip here. Every time we talk about Joe Bow here on the show, we're going to ask you to go and check out. It's on streaming services. It's on Apple TV. It might be on Amazon. It might be on Netflix.
It's on YouTube. I watched it on YouTube.
Yeah, and it's on YouTube. So depending on what your streaming platform is, you should be able to get that free. But definitely check it out. And here's some interesting overlays that I got for you to have a look at. This is currently what he's touring with. So he has an A and B rig, and depending on where he's going to be around the world, his A and B rigs are pretty much similar. So just count the guitars there. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 guitars, Brad, that he tours with.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's
amazing.
The thing about it, some of them are backups, though, aren't they? There's a kind of, there's a kind of backup besides a 63 Gibson 335 and a 62. There's a 64 Les Paul and a 64 and a 54 Les Paul and a 54 Les Paul, 59 Les Paul. So there's kind of backups, but yeah.
One thing though that was really interesting is that he uses 11s on all his guitars. I thought that was an interesting string gauge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
52.
I think the wonderful thing about Joe is he's using these guitars that are, somewhat high in value, but he's working them. He's using them what they were designed for. I think that's amazing. But I agree that the string gauge was very interesting then, Andrew. But I will say this, I'm a big advocate for exactly what Philip Sayce would say: play what makes you feel comfortable. If you're not comfortable on 11, go to 10s. If you're not comfortable on 10s, go to 9s. If you're not comfortable playing loose, sloppy strings, put 12s on. Whatever suits you. I think it will bring out the best player in you. You know what I mean?
100%.
We all aren't blessed with Stevie Ray Vaughan's hands. You know what I mean? He had monster hands and freakish finger strength. And he used to play a very thick gauge string.
Yeah.
I've certainly heard few people say that they often will start off on, say, 10s, and then if they're on a tour, they'll go up to 11s because the 10s have got a bit easy because they got into the gigging rhythm and their hands have got really strong, so they tend to go to 11. So I could see why he'd be at 11s if he gigs so regularly that gives him something to push against. Whereas 9s maybe not so much.
Yeah, Andrew, do you mind just throwing that that amp layout or just for 2 seconds? I think that's a very interesting combination as well. That we all know by now that the majority of his tone is coming from the Marshall Jubilees. They're his backbone, and the Dumbles and the Van Wielden and the I'm seeing there the Joe Bonamassa high-powered twins as well. They're all color amps. He kicks them in and out, but the majority of his tones still, to this day, is those two Marshall Silver Jubilee 2 555Ss. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I was blown away by that. And thank you for mentioning that, bro, because there was a period there where he was just mucking around with Fenders, but between you and me, I think when he's got Marshalls running, he's just the live stuff just sounds just a little bit more edgier. That's to my ear.
I love it. I love the Marshall tone. So you can't. I'll never argue with using a Jubilee because I think they're probably one of the greatest Marshalls ever made. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
and
that's my 2 cents worth, and I'm
twinkleator.
sticking to it.
Brad, whatever that
What's
is,
that?
I want a twinkleator. Whatever that is, if you look on the thing, it says twinkleator. I want a twinkleator. I don't know what a twinkleator is, but
we all want
I think we should all have a twinkleator.
We all want a twinkleator. Hey, we all want one of those.
We all want a twinkleator.
Order me one tomorrow, would you, Andrew? Can you order me a twinkleator?
I'm
on Reverb straight after this to order me a twinkleator.
I'm already looking now, so I'm not going to beat you to it. Hey, the cost of a twinkleator is going to triple now.
We're gonna start a run on them. Why is suddenly everybody buying these?
These damn twinkleators. Yeah,
it's a fantastic name. I've no idea what it does, but it sounds wonderful. Anyway,
I'm sure it is.
And as we know, if you watch any of his rig rundowns and stuff, he has an amazing rig,
and he loves taking control of them. He doesn't let the guy or the girl that interviews him muppet him out. If you're going into Muppet Land with Joe Bonamassa, he's going to correct you, and he does it nicely, doesn't he? You know,
he's very
If you don't know what you're talking about, he makes you pay.
But
I think it makes you pay regardless because
he's going to make me pay for not knowing what a twinkleator is.
You're
probably,
but that's all right. Yeah, to pay big stuff,
which
serve me right. That's all right. That's what I deserve. But I I do think that I saw a guy. He does let people play his rig as well. I mean, sort of like I think he let Mick from that pedal show have a go on it, and there was a guy the other day who was sort of giving it some welly with a 59 Les Paul through his rig. He's like flipping heck, So hats off to him for that, for allowing people to get not just sit in the audience but actually have a go on it and play it because there's nothing like having a go, is there? To sort of.
It's pretty. I got to say, it's pretty ballsy to stand in front of Joe Bonamassa and play through his rig.
Yeah, quite scary.
Hey, that's pretty ballsy.
Yeah.
Hey, they must have some real danglers down there. I'll tell you.
It's one of the world's great conundrums. What
did I just say that?
Yeah, you did. Yeah, but we're racing past it quick, so nobody notices.
I forgot we're not in the green room.
trying to cover it up, Brad. It's not working.
Okay, move forward. And we're not in the green room, guys. We're not in the green room.
Yeah, we're not in the green room now. Stop your bad language. Oh dear! But I when I went to that pedal show, he was like one of the worst. What do you play? What do you do when you've got a Les Paul, only a Murphy Ace Les Paul, for a Marshall? What do you play?
Time out.
There's only one thing to play in my books: Custard Pie by Led Zeppelin. Fantastic, yeah. But I think you've got to have something prepared in your head. You've got to go, I know what I'm going to do.
Anyway, let's move on.
Do you? Too late.
Move on. I'll time out again.
Anyway,
I'll time out.
Anyway, moving swiftly along to get back here and stop messing about. Oh dear.
Anyway, yeah.
So anyway, it's ruining me. This is track 7. Now, interesting, this isn't it? Did you?
6.
I'm a great one for trying to figure out, how the how an album's put together, and I felt like this album was put together as one set of songs that flowed together. and there wasn't a kind of side one and side two thing to it.
That's right.
I'd be interested to see if you think when you get to this, because clearly we're on track 6, "Shake This Ground," which is a kind of as an acoustic, it's pretty much more an acoustic thing, kind of funky, rootsy Americana kind of vibe to it. That I think would be quite interesting as an opener to side 2 if you were looking at it from a vinyl point of view. I don't know, I'm probably wrong about that, but it's
hold on, Simon. So this is a twinkle-later. Okay, so a twinkle-later is a rare instrument, so no wonder we don't know what it is. The best double-later effects loop. It's an effects loop.
Oh my God. Just a thing all of its own attaches to a dumble. Oh, there we are. Yeah. Van Wielden.
only 4.5K New Zealand.
Only.
Oh, well, we're definitely all off to buy one after the show, Brad, aren't you?
I'm going to kick that on and off for $4,500. The thing's going to stay on constantly.
Yeah.
And that was 5 years ago, so probably 10.5.
Oh, wow.
Maybe, yeah. So it's an effects.
Don't worry about Don't worry about putting a pedal on the floor for that. I'll just leave it on the whole time for that price.
Sorry for interrupting, Simon, but I thought we had to know, Brad. We had to know what a twinkle-later was, didn't we? We had to really know what it was. We had an idea what we thought it might be.
But now we know.
Well, now again, I was wrong. It's not what I thought it was going to be.
And I was wrong too.
Fantastic. Oh, I'm sorry to be childish, but it just sounds so cool. A twinkle. It's just like a sort of fairy dust thing. Yeah, you just put this on and bingo, you sound majestic and magical. It's like, oh, I think I need to buy one of those. Every little helps.
I've just ordered one.
Swine. He's ordered the only one in the world. Beat us to it.
Yeah. Triple the price now.
Dear. Yeah, you single-handedly tripled the price. Dear.
Sorry, Simon.
Anyway,
sorry, mate.
No, it's fine. We had to find out what it was because it sounds like such a fun thing. So anyway, Shake This Ground. Yeah, acoustics, shaker, organ, hand claps, drums. Kind of. You got an organ, an electro piano, or kind of rotor sound organ. I couldn't quite tell what it was.
Yeah.
Again, beautiful backing singers behind Joe in the chorus. Again the melody, again the arrangement with the backing singers. And the verse, just him singing, and then the chorus with the backing singers and things, and then a really nice guitar solo at the end under the singing to sort of just complement the two things together. Really nice, kind of again broadening out the palette, different vibe, different feel, more of a acoustic Americana vibe on this. And I gave this 9.5 out of 10 and never a skip. I really liked it as as I say, and as a change from what you had previously. I figured real contrast to the previous 100%. Track. So 9.5 of me and never a skip. Brad.
Yeah, Shake This Ground. I'm going to try and keep it serious, and I'm going to keep it out of the gutter. I'm joking. Stylistically, definitely a shift. I'm hearing a country pop thing going on here, singer-songwriter feel as well. Really nice acoustic vibes. The recording, I haven't really mentioned it so far, but, the tones of this record that Kevin Shirley has managed to capture are phenomenal. It's a stunning sounding album, and this song in particular really highlights that. The acoustics sound phenomenal. They sound absolutely stunning on this song. Great vocal, and the lyrics are great. I love that lyric there, standing on the shoulders of giants in the bridge. I don't know, there's just the lyrics in this album in particular are really quite phenomenal. It's the lyrics are written for the song. They suit the song, if that makes sense. sounds like a #1 country hit to me. Still waiting to happen. You know what I mean? I really do think Joe Bonamassa could throw this into the country charts, and it would do probably #1 straight off the bat, I reckon. Got a real, I don't know, I pictured a trucker driving down the street listening to this, in the country. It just had that vibe to me. I gave it 9 out of 10, guys, and never a skip. Andrew.
Thank you, bro. Simon, what did you give it, please?
9.5.
9.5. Look, I was really, really surprised when I heard this track on this album, in a pleasant way. I'll be honest, if I was listening to this back in the day, Brad and Simon, I probably would have gone, But, my appreciation of this kind of roots music, country music, inspired music, has grown over the years, grows day by day, as I play it myself. And you kind of appreciate it when Americans provide us with a song like this and that kind of imagery, Simon, because, on the channel we've spoken about John Cougar, we've spoken about Bob Dylan, we've spoken about Bruce Springsteen, coming from this perspective. And, and Joe Bonamassa deserves, Brad, to put himself in that same vein too, because he's traveling around the world. He's seeing it all and experiencing it, and wants to reflect that kind of back in a soft, beautiful song. The acoustic guitars sound great. I love it. I agree with you. It could be a phenomenal track on the country albums, and we're not adverse here to hearing country songs on rock and roll albums. I'm going to mention it to the day I die. Let It Bleed by the Rolling Stones, Beggar's Banquet. Half that album's country, Simon.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's been done before, and guess what, Brad? Rockers and bluesmen are going to continue doing it. So
exactly.
Exactly. I just think it's a beautiful song. I'm going to give it a 9.5 out of 10. Tomorrow I'll probably give it a 10 out of 10, but I've got 9.5 here, Simon, so I'm going to stick to that. Beautiful song.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and I think that one of the things I say that is the first acoustic track, the first acoustic, sort of, keeping that sound palette as broad as possible, and as introducing all the influences, all the things he's done in the past. The acoustic stuff he did at was it Milan? I think the Opera House in Milan. Pulling in elements of all the things he's done previously onto this album. So you're, so I think it's a. I think that's what it's a bit of an early conclusion, but I think it's really interesting that he's doing that. And so track 7, Still Walking With Me. This is again one of the quieter, more reflective tracks, and apparently released as an earlier single. Again, kind of nice funky riff to start, and some brisk drums and just steady drums and bass, kind of not, again, not overplaying their hand, not showy, but proper foundation to all these tracks. Some nice electric piano as well. Who doesn't like electric piano? As I think, some nice call and response with the guitars, and a nice solo as well at 1:45. Bluesy solo. And again, that kind of at 2 minutes 7, just drop down to the guitar riff, again, taking it back. And then you've got a verse, and then you've got a kind of build with the backing singer's call and response with the guitar at the end. Yeah, again, that kind of just different sound to it, much with the electric piano, and that kind of much more funky thing to it. I think that reminded me a bit of the James Gang, in the funny kind of that funky kind of playing.
Here she is.
Oh, Ellen. She's arrived. Good morning. Hope you're okay.
Good evening, Ellen.
Yeah. So, and as I say, keeping that diversity going, Absolutely, for sure. I gave this 8.5 out of 10, but never a skip.
Yeah.
Brad.
Yeah. Still walking with me. I can't help but sort of, I think Reese Winans' piano playing on this song is phenomenal. And that alone, it deserves a quite a steep reward for that in the rankings. But I'm going to stick to my initial ranking of this one, because I ranked it all as per the album and the flow of the album. This song in particular fits perfectly at track 7. If you had stuck this at track 3 or track 4, it probably wouldn't have fit there. But it's after a palate cleanser from the song previous, and then it's got a warm, soulful sort of driven sound. I'm hearing Telecaster on this. I mean, maybe correct me if I'm wrong, but it's got a real Telecaster sort of twangish about the guitar, which I love. It's got a really cool circle. Sorry, let me rephrase that. Really cool solo, and I think it suits the song perfectly. The song is a well-crafted number 7, track 7, for the album, and I think for that reason I've given it 8.5 out of 10 and never a skip. So, Andrew.
Yeah, bro, you can't deny the Stevie Ray Vaughan influence on this track. And, I hate to sound like a record Simon, but, it's there. But I love it. I love it for that. And, isn't it great to see Reese out there still today, out with Kenny Wayne Shepherd, all these young cats, out there, and just teaching them a thing or two, I'm sure. And being blown away to have this guy, come and do some work on their albums, on their songs, because look what he did to Stevie Ray Vaughan, on that album. What was Soul to Soul?
Soul to Soul, yeah.
And
then every album after that,
yeah, just incredible. I love the guitars on this track. I've given this 9 out of 10, Brad. And I just, Reese is just a giant, isn't he? Incredible.
Yeah.
Simon. Alan, good to see you.
Yes. Good morning, Alan. Hope you're good. Oh, right. She's got her grandson round, so she's very happy.
Oh,
she is.
I bet.
Oh, lovely. Fantastic. So track 8 is Life After Dark. This again is kind of, extending the mood. Of sort of starts off with a deep, heavy guitar riff, with a solo guitar over the top. Verse singing over fairly subdued backing, but a gradual build up to a big chorus. And you've got probably for almost not quite the first time, but some serious call and response guitar after the second line in the chorus. Then you gain that thing he does quite a lot, which is that solo guitar interlude between the chorus and the verse, when you just go and just plays a little bit. And the verse, just piano, rim shots, chopped guitar. And then again, the chorus, you've got the big rhythm guitar, and just with the solo guitar on the third and fourth line. So lots of arrangement, lots of, proper working out about when to play, when not to play. Great soaring melodic solo, bluesy solo, typical Bonamassa, lovely stuff. And then at 3:14 you get, I don't know what he does, but you get a more bite in the tone. I don't know when he flicks a switch from neck to bridge pick or something, but certainly there's a difference. Even I noticed the difference in the tone there, but between the two, that was really good. And again, more kind of chorus with a solo guitar, call and response. Again, not much in the way of, they're not the backing singers on here. It's much more Joe on his own. And you've got that instrumental interlude at 4:18 and then a drop down for the last 2 lines just to kind of finish it off. I think this is one of the standout tracks on here. I really like it. It's 10 out of 10 for me. Never a skip. Brad.
Life After Dark, another song title on this album that I really like, and everyone likes Life After Dark. It's when all the bad stuff happens, apparently, which we like. Mid-tempo blues rocker. I put mid-tempo blues rocker. Great lyrics again and melody. This one's, it's got that modern blues edge to it. Which we all love, and that's the sort of pocket that Joe Bonamassa's put himself into with his songwriting. He's almost, I guess you could call him an innovator when it comes to modern blues. He's one of the innovators. Killer tones, killer guitar tones, backing up what you were saying there, Simon, and fantastic solo and soloing in this. All his lead playing on this is fantastic. Another wonderful song and proof that Joe is still evolving as a blues giant. I can't say much more than what you've already said, Simon, but 10 out of 10 guys, and never a skip. Andrew.
Yeah, well, we're all on the money here, aren't we? I'm not going to repeat what you guys have said. It's just incredible. This album just gets better and better and better with each track. And it's a testament to everybody involved. I love the nice rim work with the snare on this. You can hear that, and I just think that's incredible when you watch a drummer do that. There's a vintage drummer channel on YouTube. He's a young guy, and he just sets up a camera, and he doesn't do any talking, and it just shows him drumming along to these classic vintage, tracks, Beatles and Stones stuff from the 60s and 70s. And I just get fascinated with watching what a drummer does, Brad and Simon, because it's an art, isn't it? What these guys do, just to watch them and girls do. And I was watching him play a couple of Beatles songs where Ringo Starr was just using the rim, holding the stick flat, Simon, and just tapping on the and that in itself is 5 years of hard work learning how to do that, so I'm listening to that, and I go and listen to this album, Simon, again, and I'm hearing that. So I'm just telling you guys, isn't it interesting that you listen to things and then you hear something and it's like, oh, I didn't hear that before, but this is what I've heard on this track. And I think, it's just incredible. And then obviously when I'm listening to that, Simon, I hear the bass, and I have to agree with you. I didn't want to jump in when you said it on the first track. This is where the blues and, the Double Trouble guys heavily influenced a lot of bands, even today. Just play those chord notes, Brad. You don't have to have a bass playing 15 notes. If he if she just hits the root notes and you're the guitar player, well, then you do what you do as a guitar player. And Simon, I think that's one of the reasons why this album sounds so good. Because of that.
Yeah.
Good on you. Good on you for picking. Yeah.
Well, it's kind of one of those interesting things. It kind of harks back a bit to the to the late 60s, early 70s, and we talked about this a bit, where then if you're recording to 8-track and then you're mixing it, you had to decide what was louder and what was quieter. And I think I kind of feel like the way this is, these days you don't need to do that. These days you could have everything louder than everything else, and that you don't need to do it. Whereas I think, back in the days of 8 tracks and 2-track tapes and all of that, which is quite often, you'd say that, well, we're going to have the guitars louder on this and the bass and the drums are going to be quieter, and you're mixing the back. And I kind of feel like some of that sort of thinking has been applied to this record, and even though 100%. They don't need to, maybe that's true, maybe it isn't, but
no, you're right.
And that's and that's what it sounds like to my ear, and I think you're on the money there. And all credit to those musicians as well involved on that. I've given this a Brad score too. We're on the money. Just an incredible album. Gets better, Brad. Oh, so Rock Professor. Sorry.
Well, it's amazing that that it gets gets really strong towards the end, doesn't it? This record is, and the penultimate track is "You Don't Own Me," which is a kind of mid-tempo blues rock number, and that starts off with a rat-a-tat drums and guitar. That is a real kind of call to arms, and feels sort of really knocking it down, and then you've got. Again, the guitar playing the fast riff over the brisk drumming, and again that steady bass just laying it down. 3-piece. You've got a verse, and you've got 2 lines, and then he does guitar with it, on the 3rd line, and then you've got like a sort of piano boogie as well, boogieing piano. No, nothing ever wrong with that. Another verse with the same structure. And lyric. I wrote down his lyrics because I dreamed Jimmy Page was in my band. It's like fantastic. Anything that's evoking the mighty James Patrick Page is up there in my book. So really good. Yeah. Then you've got a drop down bit, just rhythm guitar playing, and then a solo with I think we're using the whammy bar.
Yes.
I do believe Brad will correct me. Whoa, look at that whammy bar. Excellent. Yeah. Again, just a little touch that, not used it before, and I don't know, sort of a bit of wah wah on one of the tracks. But yeah, that was really cool. Nice melodic middle 8 as well. And then back to the verses, but with this time with the backing singers, they come in and really give it a coloration boost at the end, and and again back to that rat-a-tat-tat ending as well. So I gave this 9.5 out of 10. I think it's a really good blues rock track, and great riff and great structure, and evokes the great Jimmy Page. So that's worth an extra half. Brad.
Yeah, You Don't Own Me, another great song title, and yes, it's a defiant blues rocking sort of song. Reese Winans' piano really does pop on this one. The Jimmy Page nod is not only there lyrically, I've put, but it's there in some of the guitar lines. There's definitely a dissonant guitar thing going on. It's like a guitar harmony thing that is very much a Jimmy Page thing. Jimmy Page used to do that a lot. Like we'd have a main guitar line, and then he would add like a dissonant harmony underlying it. And there is that in this song. I'm hearing a bit of a Telecaster vibe in this song, I'm guessing. It's got that real telly sort of thing going on. There's a bit of a twang there, 100%. Yeah, I think it's a great song, and I'm going to say this, and I've said it many times before, it's a strong second last song. So much for the Rock Professor's second last song theory. 10 out of 10. Never a skip. Andrew.
Yeah, well, that's well and truly. We've well and truly booted that theory, haven't we?
You wait, I'm going to choose an album which deliberately has a really weak second to last track.
A shitty second to last.
Yes, absolutely. That's going to be the whole focus of my next search for my next album. Is going to be to find it out.
Yeah.
Good luck. Look, you guys again have said it all. I've detected on this track too, guys, bit of a Rory Gallagher influence as well, musically on this track as well. You reckon it's a tally? If it's not a tally, bro, he's playing a Strat through some kind of effects. Sounds incredible. Yeah.
It could be Strat, but it sounds a little bit more telly-ish to me. But maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
It's definitely a single coil. I just think it's an incredible track. You guys are right. Hearing anybody talk about Jimmy Page, I dreamed Jimmy Page was my, in my band. We've all been there and done that, haven't we?
Nice.
And Joe Bonamassa is still having those dreams, so good on him. Look, I've given this a 10
maybe
out
it's
of
a call
10.
to Jimmy Page.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, he's such a huge influence, isn't he? Look, I think it's an incredible track. I've given this 10 out of 10, and guess what, Simon? It's never a skip.
No. Yeah, well, it's an interesting point, that, isn't it? Does he play with Jeff? I'm pretty sure he's played with Jeff Beck and certainly Eric, and not played with Jimmy Page. So maybe you're right. Maybe this is a signal to Jimmy. Jimmy, next time I'm in London, bring your guitar over. Let's do something. Because that would be cool. Yeah, that would be cool. Mr. Page digging his guitar out and showing us how it all can be done.
As he does.
As the last track 10 is Pains on Me. Probably I wrote down, it's basically a blues shuffle, isn't it? So I put 101 Bonamassa kind of like, so it's about the first time that really he's gone for a straightforward blues track.
Yeah.
With a straightforward blues structure. Again, but it becomes a contrast then, doesn't it? It becomes an interesting counterpoint to what's gone before, and all the bits that have gone before, which I think, as you said earlier, Brad, I think you said the way things are framed, by previous tracks and next, makes them more interesting. And I think, that in an album of just blues things, this becomes a very different song. But in an album not of blues stuff, not really any straightforward. So you come to, this last track, and you've got this sort of straightforward shuffle with organ, bass, drums under, that bluesy guitar. It's just becomes a really good contrast, and becomes kind of fresh and a new way of looking at it. So verse, two guitar parts, it doesn't do much of that, but there's so two guitar parts. Again, backing vocals give it a kind of gospel feel, gospel blues feel. And again,
beautiful.
We bow low to the skills of the backing singers on here.
Yes,
and,
100%.
I'll find out who they are. But again, got a pre-chorus and then that solo, great emotional kind of solo. I think real melodic, but the blues embodied in that solo at 207 as and it builds to a kind of big climax. Really great solo. I really enjoyed it. Again, and then kind of back to the verse with the organ as being kind of the second instrument as well. So again, swapping the instruments out, swapping the dynamics around, and again that solo at the end, the second solo, bit more bluesy, bit fast runs alternating with slower passages and things. Again, different kind of dynamic, and his chance to stretch out to to the end. Play the last minute or so, minute and a half, and a brilliant track. I really like this, and I thought that, as I say, that the framing of it gave it a whole kind of fresh vibe. That's I really like. 10 out of 10 from me. Never a skip. Really good.
Excellent.
Pains on Me. This song in particular bookends the album for me. I mean, the first song, Breakthrough, it's a new sort of direction, a new sort of Joe Bonamassa, still in touch with his past, but forging forward. And this one brings it full circle back to Joe Bonamassa previous albums, I think.
Yep.
Which ties it all in together. It's a wonderful, nod to previous albums. I think it's a moody, introspective closer. These are the type of songs that Joe Bonamassa absolutely shines in to me. Great vocals, great lyrics, really juicy Les Paul tone on this one. Some 100%. Really soulful phrasing. The solo, how he follows the chords so perfectly, it's like it's planned, but I'm pretty sure Joe would have mapped it out but just went for it. You know what I mean? It's not like something that it sounds like it's perfected, like over the chord structure, like something Randy Rhoads would do on guitar. But he's following the chord structure so wonderfully well. I think that's just Joe on these sort of soulful, introspective, sort of moody songs. He has a wonderful way of doing that. I put that back to some of his earlier influences like Gary Moore, Gary Moore was a master at doing that, and Joey's a master at doing that as well. It's a gut-wrenching solo that the Wah's outro playing is just phenomenal. I reckon it's the highlight of the record. I gave it 100 out of 10 and never a skip, guys. Andrew.
Thank you, Alan, for the wonderful comments. So are you. You're fabulous as well. Always appreciate you jumping on here. And as we said earlier, Helene mentioned a comment. Where's Alan? Not long after we went live. So, yeah, always happy to see you jump in here and be part of this family on the YouTube, on the tube. Look, I agree with you, Brad. I think it's the best track on the album for me, and I've haven't hidden at all my thoughts on the tracks, Simon. They've just, in my opinion, progressively got better and better and better. So not often have I ranked an album, guys, where I can say that each track has gotten better. We've ranked masterpieces on this show, guys, and have agreed that there's been 2 or 3 fillers. There's some masterpieces out there with fillers, and the 3 of us, including Helen, who's ranking the tracks with us, haven't agreed. Well, Helen might think that country vibe one might be a filler, but I think the 3 of us have agreed that there has been no fillers. Palate cleanser, yes, I give you guys that description, but certainly no fillers. And again, Brad, I want to get back to the point that you made at the beginning of the show, and I think you've hit the nail on the head. This is just a remarkable achievement on behalf of Joe Bonamassa as a songwriter, bro. For him to write this song, it's just incredible. The intro is incredible. Joe sings fantastically. This is the bass driving the song forward, Simon, that you would expect the bass to do. The incredible solos. It blew me away. I can't say any more other than, Brad score.
Yeah.
Look at that. Yeah. Yes, it's I don't think there's any fillers on this either. I think there are contrasts, and I think there are, the way that you build an album. But I think these days, I don't feel that modern albums, they have a kind of there aren't fillers in the way there maybe were in the 60s and 70s, because people take more time and pay more attention. Then it'd be like, boys, you need another 2 songs, knock something together, and if you were lucky, you had a really good song out of it, and if you were not so lucky, you've got a maybe an ordinary song out of it. But we all know albums from the 70s.
And some bands under that pressure have gone out there and produced their masterpieces, Simon, when they've said we need 2 more songs.
No, absolutely, yes, yeah.
Paranoid, Black Sabbath.
Yeah, that classic.
Yeah.
We need.
Oh yes, well it becomes a sort of potluck thing a bit, doesn't it? You either get a really good song, if you're lucky, or you get not such a great song, and if but then it's you're on the you're wondering whether you will or not. You've got time constraints and all of that stuff, and it's it's sorry, I'm just so Jade McRae and Danielle DeAndre on backing vocals. So, they deserve a shout out all of their own. Jade McRae and Danielle DeAndre. Fantastic work.
Can you, Simon, at the end of the show, put their names in the comment for me so that when I edit it, I can find out some more? If you can put their names in,
I will do that, and I'll put them all in. I'll put the whole band in.
Please do that, because the backing vocalist in particular just did an incredible job, Brad. That's the backing band you want, bro.
Yeah, 100%. And the band were incredible on this record. The whole album is bold. it's got a rich, very stylistic sort of slick sound. It's incredible, and a real artistic leap forward for Joe Bonamassa, but still in touch with his past and his
100%.
fan base.
100%. 100%. And well done to him doing that. So Simon, you've given us 2 weeks to do that, and I think I don't think my scores would have changed over the period, Simon, because I'd already scored, obviously, but spending some time going through and listening and talking about this album with a couple of other guys that I know in real life, in particular, who are Bonamassa fans, kind of agree where we're going. So I appreciate it. Just to give you guys a bit of a heads up, so next week, if I remember rightly, it's my pick, is it?
Yes.
So what we're going to do next week is the three of us, we're going to get together. We're going to do a bit of a tribute show. We're going to get together and we're going to spend an hour and a half, 2 hours talking about the Layla album, in particular from you two guys and everybody else in the chat that wants to join us. Ooh. I need your top 3 songs off the Layla album, not including Layla, because we'll all include Layla. So we're going to take for granted that Layla is there. But Simon, I want your top 3 songs off the Layla album. Brad, your top 3. Why? And then we can spend a bit of time talking together, the 3 of us, because the Layla album in particular has been a good thing for our channel historically. And I'd love to spend some time talking to you guys in particular about this album and Bobby Whitlock in particular. Because, Simon, I don't know if you're going to make maybe the show that I'm going to do with the Americans in a couple of weeks' time, but certainly if you do, the invite is there. But okay.
See how we go.
But I'd love the 3 of us to spend next week spending a bit of time talking about that. So your top 3 songs from the album.
Easy.
No Layla, because we'll all pick Layla.
But even without Layla, I already know, so I'll leave them.
Okay.
Oh, look at that. Not Layla, see? No, already put constraints on us. Terrible.
My homework this week is going to be easy. The homework this week's going to be easy.
Easy. Yeah. And just spend some time talking about Bobby, this album. I'd like to do that with you 3 guys, because I often talk about the Layla show that we did here as one of the pinnacles of when that's when we found our bootstraps, to use the rock professor's term. We found our bootstraps and we took the ball and we ran with it. So I think we need to give Bobby the credit he deserves from the 3 of us, because we do know a little bit about this album, the 3 of us, don't we?
Yeah, I think we do.
For sure. Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Yeah. But I get to rank the album the week after. So don't you guys, all right?
Yeah.
All right?
No worries.
All right. So I don't want you, Brad, thinking, oh, I've got the album for. All right. Okay.
All right.
Okay. So top 3 songs from Layla for next week, not including Layla.
Not including. No. Because we'll talk about that song, the 3 of us anyway, because it's just an incredible song, isn't it? It's just remarkable.
Yeah.
Just a remarkable. Oh. So there's a good chance that all 3 of us would have picked it. I'm pretty.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic.
Brad, pass on, please, our best wishes to Ken when you see him.
Yep.
Give your mum a hug from us too, please. And if you can buy, on behalf of the Rock Professor and I, Elvis a Coke for his incredible video performance here on the channel. On behalf of Simon and I. A milkshake. Okay.
Yeah, he's not allowed a Coke yet. He's not old enough. No, he
If
did.
you
He
can
did
do
a
that, bro.
brilliant job. Hats off to him, and
Yeah.
you know, fantastic.
And tell him I'm sending the contract to him in a couple of days' time. I just got to get my lawyers to check it out.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I think he's already waiting. He's waiting by the mailbox every day. I told him, check your inbox.
Yeah.
All right.
We're partly thrilled and indeed horrified.
Yeah.
He's coming for our jobs.
I think I might have done thrown myself under the bus with him.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
Oh, UTB.
No.
Well done.
They are.
I wonder what those lads are doing. Anyway, that's another story. Yeah.
Oh, you know exactly what they're doing with Asylum and Show under the bus.
We'll be back next week, so we're going to be having a bit of a party here. We're going to celebrate this wonderful masterpiece of an album. Layla.
Marvelous.
Going to pick 3 songs. So come back, Alan, Helen, everybody who's joining us. I'll do a show card and tell us why you've picked 3. And I think that's it. Rock Professor's going to do a shout out to everybody, and we'll let everybody go. What do you reckon?
Yeah.
2 hours on the
That's
dot.
Fantastic. OTD on the dot. Yeah. Cool. So Helene and Ellen, thank you so much, guys. Lots of great comments and scoring and everything. Just
Thank you for ranking.
this is really one. Gretch as well. Gretch Evelyn, good to see you, man. Hope you're good. Thanks for dropping by. That's good. We had Tony as well. Tony Bowen, who's wandering the Pennines. So if you find him wandering the Pennines, send him home.
Is a great chap, isn't he? Great guy.
Yeah, lovely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mission RD 100. Great to see you on mission. And Johnny Heartbreakers, hard at work, keeping the country running, whilst we're not.
Yeah.
I think that's everyone who made a comment. So thanks, guys, for and thanks to everyone who left a thumbs up as well. We've got 17 thumbs ups on the video.
Wow.
So thank you very much for that. So that's even if you didn't have time to drop in and listen, a lot of people have given us a thumbs up. So that's really cool. So thank you for that.
Thank you very much.
Nice.
And we do have people watching our shows. So, you know, we get over 100 views. So if you are one of the people that have waited all the way to hear this at the 2-hour mark, thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed, please do, because every couple of days I go and subscribe back to half a dozen channels. So that's the least we can do here for you. We always do that. We're not a channel that solicits your sub and just, you know, doesn't sub back. I can tell you, honest to God, we sub back to everybody who subscribes to us. And also, one of us needs to drop a line to our friend John ZD351 because we haven't seen him in the chat for a while. So I know that we're in a group chat, messenger chat with him, and he likes putting posts in there, doesn't he, on a frequent basis too. And they're quite funny too, some of the posts.
He's still out there. Yeah. We need to do something that he'll like.
All right, but it won't be Kiss. I can tell you that now.
Well, I don't know about Kiss.
If you guys want to do a show on Kiss, good. I'll leave you. I'll leave you to it.
Brad, if you want to do a show on Kiss, I'm off too. Sorry, Guitar Hack, if you're watching. Sorry.
You know what? I'm going to tell you a true story. This is a true story. So I was working for this company and in sales, and one of the guys who was in sales went to a business, and this business was a big customer, big client. Anyway, the local rugby team, Waikato, had won the National Provincial Rugby Championships. And the owner of the business was there Monday morning. He was wearing a Waikato shirt. And, you know, I'm not going to name who the guy is because he may watch the channel, but he'll know who he is. So he goes up to the guy and he goes, "Hey, how was the weekend?" "Great. Good. And he said, "Did you watch the rugby in the weekend?" And he goes, "No. I'd rather watch paint dry." And the owner of the business, you know, who's your biggest client, who's wearing the, he's given you an invitation to say, please like what I like, or at least say something, from a sales course perspective 101 saying, no, I didn't, but tell me about it. Said the worst thing ever, Brad. I'd rather watch paint dry. So, needless to say, he was never invited back to that business again.
Surprisingly, yes. Oh dear. How to win friends and influence people. Yes.
Yeah. Are you trying to say that maybe that's why John's not coming into the chat anymore, because you don't want to do a show on Kiss? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah.
But yeah. Look, again, no one needs to lie in sales, but all you need to do, to be an effective salesperson. It used to be salesman, but it's a salesperson. The effective person in sales is, you don't agree with everything, but just, have a conversation. No, I didn't. I don't know anything about Kiss, guys, but guess what? Feel free to have the show without me.
Hey, for the record, I don't have a problem with Kiss, but, hey, the reason we haven't done one is because Andrew's has got a strong stance on it. That's all.
Yeah, that's why we haven't done one. It's all Andrew's fault.
Yeah.
Are we
so
out of here?
John
We're going to get ourselves into trouble.
Don't pick on me. Pick on
Andrew. Don't pick on me either. It's nothing to do with me.
Hey, I don't want to get on the wrong side of John. Yeah.
Oh, he just lives down the road, doesn't he? So yeah, he can do drive-bys.
Hey, he knows exactly what I look like, exactly my car, everything.
He knows where you live. Maybe.
Yeah, well,
anyway.
that too, almost. Yeah.
Are we out here?
Yeah,
let's do it. Stop messing about.
All right. God bless everyone. See you next week.